Say your name to the camera, please.
My name is Sleepy Willow.
And where are you from?
I'm from South Carolina.
And what is it that you do?
I'd say when I was in elementary school, I used to ride in the car. Excuse me. I used to ride in the car a lot with my parents, and I would just listen to everything that they played on the radio, and that really got me into music. And eventually that love just like grew more and more as I discovered more music through like my uncle specifically and friends.
What kind of music did you hear in the car, like that you'd listen to?
A mix of everything I would hear in the car with my parents. It would just be country, old school rock and roll to gospel music too as well, but that wasn't my favorite, but would hear a lot of it.
Did you do any like choir or anything growing up? Was that like was that a part of it? Or?
I didn't do any choir growing up. I was in orchestra actually. I played violin and cello. I started playing violin in elementary school, I want to say, and then middle school I transitioned over to the cello and played throughout high school.
Was there one you were a little bit better at or you preferred because of the sounds or anything?
I preferred the cello over the violin. Just the sound it makes is more bassy, and I really like a more bassy sound to my music.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel different until like high school, I would say, because growing up I relatively had like the same interest as my friends at least. Like we were really into just being outside and playing video games if we weren't outside. But then once I really delved into music, I started like, I wouldn't say necessarily growing apart from people, but definitely noticed like be like a lot more times where I would just be alone doing that because that just wasn't their interest, you know? So that's really the only thing.
Yeah.
And I was also like, I was timid, shy. A lot of my friends weren't, which is kind of weird, but those are the only differences I can think of. When I got to high school, I met people with like more, well, it was like my senior year of high school. I met people that were actually like interested in music and had some talent. Before then, I knew this one guy in middle school. He was the only person I can think of before then. He was really good at rapping. And he would just come to school like every day and be like, yo, I got something else for you. And then he would just spit like a 16 and I'd be like, okay, hit me tomorrow. And he just, every single day, and like, to this day I wonder where he at, because I know if he would have gotten a studio, he could have done something. But like, situations just be happening to people. Some people don't even have that opportunity, you know?
So it sounds like he was, I guess, not an inspiration, but kind of...
he was definitely inspiration early on, yeah. Because he was the first person I met that wrote music.
Really?
Yeah, and when I saw him doing it, I was like, okay, it's not as crazy as everybody makes it seem. Like, you just kind of do it, and then you get better at it the more repetition. So like that really inspired me, because I watched him just get better, just showing me things. Like he would just come and rap to me. So it was definitely an inspiration at the time.
So what's the process that you picked up, and what's the process that you use now for writing music?
For writing music, I would normally go into a song with just like a melody in mind that I want to try and meld into something. Usually once I pick up like a guitar, totally changes, but I'll come up with a melody I'll kind of like freestyle on that melody, and then once I find something that kind of catches me, I'll go through and write, and then I'll re-record the song. So I'll make like a demo and then basically rewrite the entire thing and then do that. Sleepy came from my old name, which was Sleepy Garçon, and I chose Sleepy because I was always tired from just doing stuff all the time. Like I used to have a 12-hour shift job that I worked every single day, and then I'd come home, still work on music, get like 2 hours of sleep, go back to work for another 12. Just doing that all the time, I just ended up coming with the name Sleepy, and then the willow part of my name. The willow tree is just a very durable tree. Like it can withstand a lot of different weather conditions. It's like a strong tree, and that really like resonates with me because I feel like I'm pretty durable at this point. But it's also just like a beautiful tree to look at. Like if I was just sitting outside under a willow tree, I feel like I'd be at peace. It's a nice vibe.
So before we move on, with each guest, I'd like to give you a gift, something to, thank you for being on the show, or being on the episode thing. I don't know why I said show. It's for being on with me. I'm going to go get it.
Okay. Waits patiently. It's going. It's pretty loud. Yeah. Get the anger out. Oh, whoops. Hey, what's going on? Don't mind me, just chilling. All right. I normally find motivation through other artists that really inspire me. Sometimes it can be overstimulating and a little too much to see other creators do their thing, make you feel like you're not really up to par sometimes, but you can find people within those guidelines that are kind of on a similar vibe and inspire you instead of making you want to quit because you feel like you're not good enough. I have a couple artists that I follow on Instagram that are like that. And also just like the people I hang around, they're all very creative in their own right. And that's always inspirational to me. Yeah, I feel like cars contain a lot of experiences for people. I've had a lot of great things come from just car conversations that those conversations probably just couldn't be had anywhere else. I don't really know how to explain that, but I'm sure everybody's had those conversations as well, whether it be with friends, family, whatever. And I've had relationships end in cars, friendships, whatever it may be. I've had great things come from those conversations as well. And I don't know if it's like a safe spot for everybody to just speak their mind, but I feel like going on a long ride with somebody, you can learn a lot about them. And just knowing that everybody's kind of like in their little universe when they're in a car with somebody, whether it be the music they're listening to, whatever, Like, think about all the cars that do go by, like on a daily basis that you pass or pass you. How many just different conversations, how many life-changing conversations may be happening. It's kind of fascinating to think about. Yeah. I felt like at the time I wasn't being heard, and I made that song along with Call Me Love, another artist from Colombia, one of my close friends, and he produced it, and I just like was in love with what he produced, so I was like, I feel like I need to speak on this. So I talked about it, and the song really just comes down to just me being honest with myself and realizing that I would sacrifice a lot for what I want and what I care about, because I feel like it can impact a lot of people that I have close to me. And I wouldn't say it was a bad headspace, but definitely wasn't the healthiest to be in constantly. And I feel like that song really just helped me get out of that headspace and kind of move on from those thoughts. In 5 years, I would like to be touring the US, like playing with my band and just solo acts as well. I would like to travel across the country. I want to go to states I've never been to. I've only been to a handful. And hopefully, if all goes well within that time frame, I can do a tour out of the United States. That's the dream. And then long term from there, hopefully get into more of directing and hopefully make a movie one day. I can see that happening. Say, believe in yourself no matter what anybody tells you. If you have a passion, follow it, and don't hold yourself to what anybody else thinks of you, and don't even hold yourself to your own expectations, because things play out way differently than we would ever expect. But if you're not holding those expectations, that can be a very good thing and a very beautiful thing. But if you do hold those expectations, you might miss all that. And I feel like that took me a very long time to learn. Also, The Road from the Window, another 6-song EP I've been working on. Should be dropping late January 23. Be on the lookout for that. I got you.